Welcome back, everyone. Working on the 806 again. I forgot to show this in the last video, but here's what's left of the PTO shaft. And there's a clip on there that was rather difficult to get off. I got that off. This bearing just slips right off. And then I go dropping stuff. So I will set this somewhere safe. The mountain a mess. And we're gonna trade this one out for this one. I'll take a welding glove so I can avoid damaging this one. This is the replacement shaft, as you may have figured out. I originally said I was going to replace this bearing, but I'm kind of a cheap bastard, so it's getting run again. Put it on just like that. Got our washer that's all cleaned up. Looks like it's a MN 1309 bore. I think that's probably how you say that. Slip that back on there. And this is where the fun begins, because I don't have the pliers for this style. So I am going to try to roll it on. Try to use this guy a little bit. I am going to have to invest in the right wrench sometime. I'm almost getting it, but almost usually isn't good enough. Oh, it started. It started. I'm gonna use a screwdriver improperly to install this by tapping it down. And there it went. So that baby's all ready to install in that case. You want to make sure you get this really clean in here. Had a couple metal chips in here from the shaft breaking. And I know I told you guys in the last one I was going to change out that seal, but I am going to chance my luck and I am going to leave it. And the only reason is you should be able to change that seal while the PTO is installed on the tractor. And I'd like to show you guys how, if I have trouble with it, which I probably will. Now you can go and slip this guy right down in there. Put a little lube on the shaft so it's a little easier on that ruined seal. And then we're just gonna press it into place gently. 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 It's in there. Now we can get our snap ring in place. Another one of them fun ones. So this one I got started over there, and I'll try to finagle this in with the screwdriver. Sometimes it's easier said than done. If you can, try to walk it around. Now we got it on the home stretch. And there it's all engaged. It looks like to me, I could be wrong, but I'd want to put this together about the way it came apart. So this side will go on top of that part. Once again, I'm not doing a full rebuild on this. I am more or less just changing that shaft. This washer, as some call it, has to go just like that. But chances are it probably won't stay just like that. A dab of grease should hold it here. And there's a little spot that this tab goes into here. I got a little bit of gasket maker on my part, and got the one piece up there. See how sketchy this is to go back together. Got to get everything lined up. All the gears in there. And then there's a hole that one shaft goes in. That's got to get lined up. Kind of feels like we're on the spring tension now. So have to press down a little bit on this thing. Shouldn't take a whole lot. going down slowly and guiding the shaft in at the same time. Now at this stage, it's just putting everything back where it came from. You gotta make sure this pin here is sitting in there the right way, otherwise that pump basket deal won't fit into place. Making sure that all our parts are super clean when we put them back together. Just start reinstalling stuff. There's the clutch basket, and we got to press that down so you can get the clip in there. Snap ring. Put that in there before you press it down, or leave a little space. And use your snap ring pliers to put that back where it goes. There, it's all snapped into place. Can back that off. Make sure that's still all clean in there. Next goes in our piston. Careful not to tear up the seal on this. There you go. Just make sure everything is very, very clean that you're putting back together here, or it can tear some stuff up. Now we can put our steels and frictions in. And make sure you have it where it's, you know, steel friction, steel friction. It doesn't work to go friction, friction, steel, steel. It won't grab like that. It'll just wreck it. I've heard of people pulling apart PTOs and finding them like that. That'd be why they didn't live very long, why they didn't work very good. There's similar parts to this in an automatic transmission. And next we put this big snap ring in. Try to just fish that around. Make sure this all still has some play in here. Try to line these up a little bit, because when you put your top cover on there, that will have to go down in between all those. So now we are able to put our big spring back in. Using our special tool that the manual specified. To press it all back in there. Once again, I didn't put this in there before I got carried away. I'll let it up just a little bit. There we go. And now we can attempt to get this into place. If you can fish it around like the other ones, but you do not have very much room to work with here. That's where one of them specialty pliers would come in handy. But as you can see there, I got it without one. Now we're all done with the press. I just got to put the pump back on. So all these splines here have to line up with them clutch discs. There's probably an easier way to do this, but try to line all these up before you attempt to put the pump on. I have a vice grip on here just to help so I can turn the shaft. And then just kind of wiggle and turn. And hopefully you'll get it like that without too much trouble. And then line up your bolt holes. I think it's about there. And go and reinstall your bolts. Torque them guys down to the proper specs, and then it should be good to reinstall onto the tractor. Sorry guys, I noticed while editing this video that when I was installing the PTO, unit into the rear end housing. I apparently put the GoPro onto time lapse, I believe, because where I thought I had video, there was some blurry images. So basically is what I did. I hoisted that heavy thing up onto the drawbar and then guided in the oil pickup tube into the rear end housing first and got everything situated, and then slipped it in the rest of the way. Once the shaft's lined up inside, I reached in through the top link hole here and had a vice grip on the PTO shaft and used that to turn it a little bit to line the splines up while I pushed in. Everything went together real nice and easy, and then I bolted everything back together. There we go. The 806 has two shafts again. I'm gonna get this thing filled up with oil and test it out. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. God bless. For some bonus footage for losing that other footage, I got the oil all topped off. Let's see if this thing will crank up and smoke me out. I haven't had this thing running since the summer. I did charge the batteries here since I pulled it into the shop. Well, there you go. Everything seemed to prime up. Steering took a little bit to prime up, but it primed up without assistance. So that MCV helped out substantially. That would have never happened before. 3-point works, PTO works. Well, maybe I can get this thing out of my shop and find something else to do.